So here I have some of the things I'm going to need to make the steering work more appropriate. The problem with what we have right now is when I use this switch on top, the steering stops wherever you put the switch. In your steering wheel, when you let go of the steering wheel, it should return to center. And I think if you don't have that set up, it's going to be very difficult to drive this vehicle. So I need something to I need something to figure out where the steering is and whether it's lined up with whatever joystick or remote control or computer or whatever. It has to know which way it's pointing so it knows whether to turn it left or right. So this device here is called an Arduino. This is a microprocessor. It's something that you can buy this thing. It's not a computer, but it's just a microprocessor. And what that means is you can have inputs and outputs to this thing. So you can measure a voltage from a potentiometer. You could put it into here. So you can have an input from the potentiometer. You could have an input from the remote control radio. You could have an input from anything you want, any analog or digital signal. And when you get to level 3 electrical, you'll start understanding what that means. Right now, you're probably used to dealing with analog electrical, but when we get this is now taking analog signals and digital signals and combining them, making some decisions on it, and outputting something. So this could take the position of the steering where it is, the position of the joystick where it is on the remote control radio, compare them, and then if it decides it needs to turn it left or right, it can send a signal to this thing. And this is a DC motor driver. So this is 2 channels. I'm just going to use one of them. I might have another single channel around just to save some space. But this thing will take any kind of voltage signal, pulse width modulated signal, and again, level 3 electrical, you'll understand that, but pulse width modulated signal. This one doesn't do serial signals, so it has to be converted using this thing. So, and then it has outputs here that can drive the motors. So battery voltage in and motors out, left or right, based on what this Arduino wants it to do. So this you can write code for. There probably is code someplace to measure the potentiometer value of a motor and have it line up with something. The code is all open source. So I think I can download some code, tweak it a little bit for what I need to do, and I can use this for other things too. It's got a whole bunch of digital and analog inputs. You see all the pins there that you can fasten things to. You can have this talk to other computers. So I can probably have this using what they call a kind of a CAN bus language, talk to the main motor controller. So these two can actually talk to each other. That's getting pretty advanced. I'm going to do that. I hope to do that. My other robot, or my other autonomous vehicle I have, has gone one step farther than this, and it's using what they call a Raspberry Pi, which is a full-on computer. So I'm going to have a full-on computer talking to this and talking to the autopilot in my other autonomous vehicle, which I'll show you guys one of these days soon. And then, so that's the level of technology I'm going to be using. This primarily to get it to steer, compared to, so this is going to read the radio and the potentiometer, send a signal to this, whether it wants to turn left or right, until the potentiometer matches the position of the joystick that's running it. So that's the technology. Right now, I'm just going to finish all the mechanical repairs to it, get the steering working properly, get the clearances. I'm going to work in here and get all this fixed up. I want to put a mount here before these screws break, so I want to kind of reinforce this. I might scrap this idea, maybe not right away, but I think I'm going to consider going over to the stepper motor and worm gear drive that I showed in one of the earlier videos. It's around here someplace, not sure where at the moment, but I'm starting to think that might be a better option. But this is going to be okay for now. It'll give me a chance to do some more coding and writing the software through this thing, so that'll be fun. I'm going to keep going. This is a bit of a setback, but a day's worth of work to kind of fix this up a little bit and make it proper, so you don't have to worry about it catching and binding and the steering not doing what it's supposed to do.